What's going on, you? This is Instructor Mike. You can follow me on Facebook at Mike Brown or Instructor Mike. Follow me on.
It could be you as a citizen, and you walked up and you see somebody. It look heavy? I don't know. Create special. That must be. But it's good to know that this can handle the high pressure rounds of the flooding. Ready to go.
Make eye contact with me. He's still trying to get it open a couple of times.
So chill.
What up? What's up? I see you all in the room. What's going on? Look at y'all. Oh, shucky ducky. Oh, shucky ducky. It is going down. It is going down. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Glad to see all y'all here. You said it's time to stand together against liberal ways. Oh my God, no. If you all see a bot, that video of your student trying to get your holster still cracks me up. Good deal, good deal. All right, so I'm not just live on Facebook, on YouTube, but I'm also live on TikTok, and I'm gonna have TikTok folks come on over here. We're gonna talk about this. What's going on? We are gonna talk about this. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I got the mic. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? You said hello from 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Rangers lead the way. Good deal, good deal. Good deal, Joseph. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Good deal. All right, let's go. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good deal. All right. So I am going to not take up too much of your time by continuing to, banter and stuff like that. Let's get to the juicy of what we are talking about here, okay? Let's go on ahead and get to it. Guys, do me a favor. Go on ahead and share the live. Share the live. Let's go on ahead and talk about this. You said Colion Noir just dropped a video about this. Once again, we are famous. Better yet, maybe we are infamous. Well, let's see what Colion Noir has to say. I didn't get a chance to really look at his video. Let's go on ahead and take a dive into it, because I think there's some good things in this and there are a lot of bad things. And I actually took the time to break the stuff down in a PowerPoint presentation. So you all have seen the news media clips. We'll watch maybe a couple of them and then we'll dive right into it. What's going on, you all? Do me a favor, take the time to share this right now. If you're watching on TikTok, go on over to YouTube, Instructor Mike. If you're watching on TikTok, go on over to my YouTube page, so that way you can see the presentation of what I put together, stuff like that, because this is definitely worth the conversation. I don't want to be the one to continue to say it. Let's go on ahead and watch it. Here we go.
Illinois will be the first state in the nation to end cash bail starting next year. And that is sparking a concern that criminals could be out on the street.
Grady Trimble is in the loop and breaks down this law, which is called the Safety Act.
A number of states' attorneys and sheriffs are sounding the alarm about Illinois' plan to end cash bail. They say it's going to make crime in the state of Illinois worse. The new law that goes into effect January 1st, 2023 gets rid of cash bail entirely. It also limits who can be arrested and held in jail based on the crime they're alleged to have committed. The Democrats who voted for this law say it's more equitable.
You've been denied a bond because you're dangerous, which is good. Let's deny dangerous people bonds. But if they have a bond, we're saying you're not dangerous. We're just going to keep you in jail because you're poor.
But those in law enforcement who oppose it say it'll lead to hundreds, if not thousands of people being released from jail as soon as it goes into effect at the beginning of the year. They also say it'll make...
Okay, I think I know why I have an echo. I think because my volume is up. All right, here we go. My volume is up. I just turned the volume down. So I'm going to start this video over again. It ain't nothing but a minute and 48 seconds. And you all tell me if you all can still hear. Here we go. I think that's what that was.
That is sparking a concern.
Can you guys still hear the video? Let me know.
On the street.
Grady Trimble is in the loop and breaks down this law, which is called the Safety Act.
A number of states' attorneys and sheriffs are sounding the alarm about Illinois' plan to end cash bail. They say it's going to make crime in the state of Illinois worse. The new law that goes into effect January 1st, 2023, gets rid of cash bail entirely. It also limits who can be arrested and held in jail based on the crime they're alleged to have committed. The Democrats who voted for this law say it's more equitable.
You've been denied a bond because you're dangerous, which is good. Let's deny dangerous people bonds. But if they have a bond, we're saying you're not dangerous. We're just going to keep you in jail because you're poor.
But those in law enforcement who oppose it say it'll lead to hundreds, if not thousands of people being released from jail as soon as it goes into effect at the beginning of the year. They also say it'll make our communities more dangerous with suspects in future crimes roaming free.
There is nothing just, and there's nothing, promoting safety about allowing individuals who choose to break the law to threaten and to hurt innocent people, allow them back on the streets to do it again. That's the opposite of justice, and that's the opposite of promoting safety within our community.
The new law comes at a time when businesses are already leaving the city of Chicago, some of them over safety concerns. Crime in the city is up 37% from a year ago. In the Loop, Grady Trimble, Fox 32, Chicago.
Let's get fired up.
What's absolutely clear is
All right, so this is another part of Flannery Fired Up. Hey, if you're watching by YouTube, can you do a favor and let's get the likes up? Let's get the likes up. That's going to share the conversation. It's going to put more of the conversation out there. Okay. See, I shouldn't have came in here without something to drink, but whatever. We're going to push through. We're going to make it through. All right. Do me a favor. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. All right, here we go. So let's go on ahead. You said it's an echo now? Is it still an echo? Y'all let me know if it's an echo. The YouTube handle is Instructor Mike. The YouTube handle is Instructor Mike. Please make sure that you are liking. No echo. All right. So let's go on ahead and dive into it. Let me pull up this PowerPoint screen. Pull up this because I want you all to be able to see this. Pardon my voice a little bit. There we go. Okay, here we go. So I went on ahead and broke some things down, and let's go on ahead and start this. All right. Push this. All right, here we go. So in the safety analysis, that's what this piece of legislation is called. It's called the safety. Now, I can't see your comments out. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll go on ahead and just bounce in between this screen and the other screen too. So that way I'll be able to see your comments. You say go get some water. Do I have something here to drink? No, I actually do not. And I can't go and get, my car is around the corner, but I'll be all right. I'll be all right. You said this will make me not want to visit Chicago anymore. Yeah, I get it. All right. So this is called the Safety, Accountability, Fairness and Equity Act analysis. Let me push this over so that way I can at least get to the screens a lot faster. All right, here we go. So in this piece of legislation, all right, you have several areas that was up for analysis. You have the analysis as it relates to law enforcement or policing. You have the, and just bear with me on the comments so that way I can get through this, and then I definitely will entertain your comments, right? You got several areas that were the focus of the Safety Act. You have policing, you have complaints and misconduct, you have certification and decertification processes, other provisions of the act, and then you have pretrial highlights. There was a meme that was being passed around through social media where you said, get the water. Now I'm good. There, you said, go get some water. It sounded kind of rough. There's nothing in here for me to get. So I would actually have to go to the store. I'm good. You said, how do you send likes? I don't know how to do that. Well, you're good. Just go on ahead and hit the like button, whatever the case may be. I think I'm struggle streaming already. Am I struggle streaming? Yeah, here we go. Wait till StreamYard is awesome, but you tend to struggle stream from time to time. All right, let's go ahead. Yeah, hit the thumbs button, hit the like button. Let's go ahead and get with it. So, policing. 1, it offers new standards for when police officers are able to use force. In those standards where police officers are actually able to use force, they're talking about things relative to positional asphyxia, things like that. When projectiles could actually be used, shooting at a person who's alleged of committing an actual forcible felony, things like that. Get it right. So let's go on ahead and push through that, because that's a whole nother lecture. This is not even where it starts to get worse. It's going to start to get worse. Here we go. It requires officers to provide aid after using force. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, provided that these officers are actually trained in what type of aid they are to provide. Okay. Some are trained in CPR, some are trained in first aid, some are trained in TCCC, whatever the case may be. That's going to be an individual department thing or a thing at the state level. We'll see what comes out. Okay. It requires officers to intervene if other officers use unauthorized or excessive force. No issue there. Prohibits police access to any military surplus programming or purchasing specific types of equipment. This is going to be a problem for agencies. Let me see if I can push this in. Okay, good. So this is going to be a problem for agencies that cannot afford to have the types of, sorry about that. I'm trying to get this layout better than that. All right, fuck it. Here we go. This is going to be a problem for agencies that cannot afford to have certain types of equipment. And I think no consideration was taken with regard to that. There's going to be some issue with those agencies. And you can tell when I continue to push through the review of this, you will be able to see that there was obviously no law enforcement consideration, except for the chiefs, the sheriffs, things like that. You might have gotten maybe Superintendent Brown. You probably got, they probably got his opinion. They probably got darts, because these are statutory members on the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. So by statute, by virtue of their position, they are on the board. And I guarantee you, Chief Mitchell, who's the chairman of the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, sure, they talk to them. But if you know anything about police chiefs, right, they serve at the will and pleasure of the person who appointed them, unlike Sheriff Dart, who is elected by the people in that given county. So I hate to say it, but your autonomy as a chief only extends to the politician who put you in. Okay, let's continue. It's going to get worse from here. All right. Requires publishing of any purchase, request, or receipt of equipment through any military program. All right, let's push. Expands use of and changes guidelines and requirements for use of BWCs, body-worn cameras, and who may access, review, or delete footage. I don't have an issue there. Okay. It expands officer training on topics including crisis intervention, de-escalation, use of force, high-risk traffic stops, implicit bias, racial and ethnic sensitivity training, and emergency response. Let me tell you what I don't see here. And I'm sorry, I should have blown up the screen so that way you all can see it. Let me tell you what I don't see here. Physical fitness. And I'm going to tell you, as a fat guy, right? Wasn't always this way, but I'm going to tell you this: physical fitness. I don't see any physical fitness standards. I don't see any every 6 month or every year PT test. You want to know what escalates officers to using deadly force quicker than others? Being out of shape. Now, you're saying too much echo. Some of you are saying too much echo. I don't know. Give me a mic check, guys. Is it too much echo or is it trash man? Please let me know before I continue. Right? Please let me know before I continue. Is it too much echo or am I good? I'm watching the comments. Type 1 in the chat. No echo. All right, trash man, come out, come back in. All right. No echo on Facebook. All good for you. All right, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. Hold on for a minute. Daughter's calling. Hey, I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. Here we go. Let's push. Where's the physical fitness standards? Right? Where is the physical fitness standards? Where's the PT test? Right? Here we go. I see people talking about hand-to-hand combat, combatives. Where's the extra training for your hand-to-hand combat? Right? Where's the extra training and incentives and funding for making sure that officers are prepared to go hands-on before they even prepare to go weapons-free? You don't see any of those initiatives there. And here is the problem that I see when you have people who are practitioners in the criminal justice field or adjacent fields. Or strike that, not practitioners, but they're theorists in the field, and they've never been practitioners. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. I'm just saying. Here we go. Let's push. Oh, it's going to get worse, you all. Here we go. Mandates use of force reporting to the FBI National Use of Force Database. No issue there. Requires reporting of deaths in police custody and due to use of force. No issue there. Misconduct highlights. Sports fans, here we go. Do me a favor. Before we continue, y'all do me a favor. I'm watching on YouTube as well. Do me a favor. Bust those likes up. Let me go ahead and make sure, because I want to make sure, you know, the likes are going. I got 214 people watching, and we got 137 likes. Could you all do me a favor? If you have not hit that like button, can you go on ahead and just smash that like button? Why? It helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm. And if you found somebody who has broken this down better than I have, please let me know, because this is about education. Not the first time that I've talked about this. All right, let's go on ahead and push. Allows for investigation of anonymous complaints against officers. Bans the destruction of police misconduct records. In certain way, shape, form, or fashion, I don't have a problem with that part. Here we go. Allows the complaint filings against police officers without sworn affidavit or other legal documentation, and removes the requirements that officers under investigation must be informed of the complainant's names or of the officer in charge of the investigation. Can you all tell me what the problem with this is? Thank you, Camilla. Here we go. Chicago police officers always falsely arrest people in Chicago, so it's good to get rid of cash bonds. Okay, I said thank you prematurely. Cash bonds, we're coming to that, but we're not even close on that, because here we go. How many of you officers watching this or will watch that had a righteous arrest where you did everything you were supposed to do, but somebody came into the station and filed a complaint against you? Filed a complaint against you. And I'm going to tell you the reason why this is the issue. Now, obviously, we are not talking about bad officers who are bad for the profession. We are not talking about them. Not talking about them at all. The one thing that good cops and citizens agree on, and that is bad cops have zero place whatsoever in the department. We are not talking about them, though. We are talking about active police officers. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about active police officers who are actively going out and looking for crime to stop, who understand the tenets of Terry versus Ohio, 392 US 1, who understands Arizona versus Johnson, Miranda versus Arizona, right? Tennessee versus Gardner, Graham versus Connor, understands the tenets of that, right? And understands how to do the job without violating the rights of citizens, right? Who understands how to effectively find probable cause, right? To be able to pull somebody over and actually effectuate that traffic stop. We're talking about those officers. So let me give you the breakdown of what causes a complaint, right, to be filed, and then what that filing of a complaint can actually do to help a defendant, right? Here we go. Complaint is filed. Typically after the law enforcement encounter. What happens? 9 times out of 10, this officer encountered someone. 9 times out of 10, if you see the complaint, there was an arrest that was made. There was an action that was taken, right? Then after that arrest was made, what happens? The complaint suddenly follows that arrest. Not necessarily because the officer did something wrong, but it is a game. It is a game. And what happens is after that complaint is filed, the officer is made aware of that complaint. Now, the Uniformed Peace Officers Disciplinary Act, Chapter 50, Illinois Compiled Statutes Act 725, right, required previously, where there had to have been a sworn affidavit to be able to attest to the facts and circumstances you are laying out in this complaint. And if it was found that you perjured yourself willfully, we're not talking about, okay, I forgot this part. We're not talking about that. We're talking about willful. You just made this up. You and the complaint are forwarded to the state's attorney for prosecution. Guess what the Safety Act does? It eliminates that. It eliminates that. So now you have anonymous complaints against officers. Complaint filings against police without sworn affidavits. Don't do the job. Retire on duty. And that is the biggest issue that this Safety Act, some of you all saw those lists of charges, and we're coming up to that. Some of you all saw those lists of charges. Oh my God, they can be caught and released into the sea. They can be caught and brought before a judge and pushed out into the field. Who's going to do the catching? Who's going to do the catching? I'm going to get to some of your comments before we push, so keep them coming. Don't forget to hit that like button, right? Who's going to actually do the catching? Now, Chicago police has been doing a lot of hiring, right? And Superintendent Brown said today that they're on track and they've done better hiring this year than 2019. What kind of officers? What kind of officers have they actually been hiring? Shouts out to and rest in peace to Officer Ella French. But Ella French is one of those officers that Chicago plasters up on all these different billboards as a reminder of the sacrifice that officers make when they're out there in the streets, where I am one such person who will tell you Ella French had no business being on that team. She wasn't about that life. Could she have been a police officer? Yes. Could there have been other things she could have done in the department? Yes. But when you out there doing stuff that pushes you in front of violence, you got to have a certain type of mindset. Well, I don't really care if you hold your like to the end. You like it or you don't. Thank you, though. I'm just saying, it is what it is. And so what you're going to end up having with crime getting higher, it is reported that it's at 37% higher than it's been. 37% higher than it's been. And I'm going to address your comments after I say this last part, because your comments matter, right? 37% higher than it's been. What you're going to end up getting rid of are your active officers, who know how to do the job the right way, who know how to not only do the job, but know how to put on the appropriate hands and use the tools when it's time. You're going to get rid of those. And you're going to have these young Thundercats on the street who don't know a damn thing about practical policing. They've got that 1300 West Jackson policing, or that U of I PTI, Police Training Institute policing. But once you put boots on the ground, it's a different ball game, baby. It's a different ball game. Let me get to your comments. You said CPS, honestly. You mean CPD? Okay, I'll go you one. CPD honestly hires unfit people. Okay, I get it. You said we need to pay attention to who voted yes on this bill. Come on now. You know who voted yes on this bill. You already know. But you're right, Chris. Thank you for your comment. We know this, but how do we weed the bad apples diligently? Nicole, I get it. You got to honest. You're right. You're right. Right? There is a way to weed the bad apples out. That has to honestly take place from within. That has to take place from within. I promise you it does. I promise you it does. And the thing is, this could be one of those things where the bad apples end up going and the good apples too. You're getting rid of the whole tree, baby, with this one. And the thing is, you asked for it. Some of you all are sitting here and saying, let's find out which politicians voted for this. I think, just my opinion, for whatever it's worth, it is extremely unfair for you to go after the politicians who voted for it when they represent the people who asked for it. If we're talking about true representative democracy, if that's what we're talking about, it is unfair for you to go after the people who voted for it instead of going, so to speak, after those who wanted it. Because that's all they did. They gave them what they wanted. Do you remember that? All of that protesting downtown, all of those riots, all of that this, all of that, saying we want this. The politicians gave them what they wanted. So you can't go after the politicians for it when they represent it. Well, let me make sure you're gone since you got things to say. Now you don't have to worry about coming back. Somebody got me fucked up. Don't forget, don't think because I hadn't said not one cuss word in here, you forgot who the fuck I am. Let's get back to the business. You ain't had a chance to see that comment that triggered that. Please know what room you in. Here we go. You said the police academy has less training than a beautician that holds curling irons. Liability should be held for all servants. I respect good cops, but a fearful cop shouldn't be a cop. Now, here's what I have to say with regard to your point, Corvart. Is it Corvartis? I want to make sure I got your name correct. I think that we should have insurance. I think that we should have professional liability insurance. And I think that they should get rid of qualified immunity. Right? I think that they should get rid of qualified immunity. And let me tell you why I think they should get rid of qualified immunity and have us have professional liability insurance. As a licensed professional, I have to have professional liability insurance. So guess what that means? I reserve the right to pick and choose who I want to serve. See, you all forget this part that you can't eat your cake and have it too. I mean, you can have your cake and eat it too, but then you can't eat it and then have it too. I think that they should give you exactly what you ask for. They should do away with qualified immunity, right? Because I don't have qualified immunity. I'm not the police anymore, right? They should do away with it. And then we have to have professional liability insurance. So that way, when you call us to the scene, we, not the government, but we as the individually licensed police officer, we reserve the right to analyze on the scene if your problems are worth us taking the risk. See, you all didn't think about that, right? You didn't think about that, right? Doctors reserve the right to choose who they want to help. Just because they help you, you see them help a lot of people, doesn't mean they have to. They actually reserve the right to refuse. You just don't see a lot of them refusing, but they reserve the right. Just like you with car insurance. Just ask any person who has professional liability insurance, and they will tell you they all reserve the right to pick and choose who they want to help. You're not ready for that conversation, though. You're not ready. But now you're going to get a piece of it. Anonymous complaints? Oh, we got more to go through. But I just want to, anonymous complaints? Without sworn affidavits? Right? Here we go. So here's a question that I have. If the anonymous complaint triggers a criminal investigation, here we go. What does the 6th Amendment to the United States Constitution give you? Oh, by the way, you see that little cash tag that's scrolling across the screen right there? Yeah, for every $5 you donate, if you value this information, a child gets a book. I am a children's book author. So that cash tag that comes across the street, because I can't monetize my page because I teach firearms. So that little cash tag across the way, yeah, for every $5, a child gets a book, right? So if you would be so kind, please donate to the cause. Let's get back to it. Okay? The 6th Amendment guarantees the right. Hey, Lena, I ain't seen you in a minute. How are you, Lena? Oh, my God. Very nice to see you here. The 6th Amendment guarantees you the right to face your accusers. And anybody who's worked in narcotics knows a confidential informant has the potential to be outed. Why? Because this is the person who was responsible for producing the information to the police that they're a part of the case. They're very material to the case. So how long do you think you're going to stay anonymous? How long do you think you're going to stay anonymous? I'm just saying, right? And so why would I, if I were still a police officer, why would I knowingly take the risk to come help you? I'll give you one good one. Domestics. How many of you officers, former or current, have responded to a domestic only for the woman you're trying to help to turn on you when you're trying to arrest her husband who beat the shit out of him? And now I got to sit here and fight both of you off? Oh, I would love, absolutely love for this to have been the case. Oh, shit. I'll just stand on the sidelines and just, hey, just duck, do this. Oh, whoa, hey, do that. Oh, shit, you better move. You better got 455. Send me a couple units this way. Oh, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. Now, Camilla, here we go. No, I just didn't understand until he said he was an officer. It sounds like he was concerned about a complaint against an officer when plenty of them get complaints and nothing happens to them. Camilla, I understand your understandable bias. I do. And I appreciate it. And I want you to know that your opinion matters. That's why you all are getting this. You're getting what you ask for. No, I'm not going to provide any type of fiery comment like I normally would. I'm just telling you, you're getting what you ask for. But when you get what you didn't ask for, you see what I'm saying? I don't think you're seeing what I'm saying. Just listen to the cries of people in the community who are saying now more than they have ever said, we need more police. You hear it on the news. You see it in the Facebook post of people. You hear the cries of the politicians. we're going to go ahead and increase more security and police on the CTA because people are constantly getting killed, constantly getting this, constantly getting that. You hear it. There has never been more of a cry for more police than there has ever been before. When just 3 or 4 years ago, they were saying F the police. So you're getting what you want. You can file an anonymous complaint. You don't have to have a sworn affidavit. It removes the requirements that officers under investigation must be informed of the complainant's names. You're getting what you want. But then when you get security officer-minded police officers who come to the scene and are really restricted from doing a lot more than what we could do now, just remember, you asked for it. Now you're going to start to see complaints such as, why are you here? What do we call you for? This person hit me in the face while the officer was there, and the officer stood there and did nothing. And guess what we are going to say? If I put my hands on this person, they already told me they're not going to go to jail. They already told me if I put my hands on them, they're going to F me up. So I can't take that chance. I'm just saying, you're getting what you're asking for. Now, let me get to some more of your comments because I want to value your opinion. Here we go. Police can't take action based on an anonymous phone call. Police can go to the area but need more. Yeah, okay. I see where you're going, James. Police. No. You're right, James. You're right. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the anonymous complaints. But I know what you're talking about, though. I mean, you get anonymous calls all the time to go to the area, but then it's once you get to the area, it's what do I see on view? You know? You said, I thought officers were already insured. Officers are insured under the department. This is why the department is sued, not the individual officer. The officer is named in the suit, but the government is sued because the officer acts under the color of law. But don't get me wrong. Get me to getting professional insurance. I'll get it. I swear to God, I will get it only if they eliminate qualified immunity. I say take away all the protections that officers have to have and then see what happens, because this is a part of it. Okay. Oh, we're going to get to the cases. Hold on. I moved out of Chicago because of this reason alone, and now you tell me this can be spilled out to other counties. I know everywhere you go has its own evil, but this is crazy. Yeah, this is the case. This is the case. This is not just Chicago. This is all of Illinois. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Hit that like button. Let's get these views up. Here we go. Let me get to some more of your comments before I push on. Julie Kalina says this is horrible legislation. Society functions as long as people self-govern behavior. Criminals don't or can't self-govern. That's debatable, but I get it. Bail or bond is to ensure criminals appear for court. Letting them out on no bond puts people at risk. We are going to lose people here and the jobs will follow. Okay. Nicole C. Squad said, I had an officer that placed my autistic son in handcuffs for asking questions. Nicole, that is absolutely wrong if it's on the basis of what you've stated here. But here's this. I wish I had a video to be able to say it's truly wrong or it's truly right. I do know that when you're dealing with people, now, hold on, let me give you some more clarity. I am not the type of person who doesn't think that officers need more training. If you feel they need more training, type a number 1 in the comments. Come on, let's go. Don't you freaking lie. Don't you lie. Because some of you officers who are watching are bullheaded. You're bullheaded in training. You're bullheaded on the streets. You got great intentions, but you know you head bob that in-service training. If you think they need more, training, type a number 1 in the comments. If you think the community needs to do a ride along with the police to understand things boots on the ground, type a number 2 in the comments. If you think the community needs to do a ride along with the police to understand things boots on the ground to get a in your face, down the barrel, at the blade of a knife, type a number 2 in the comments. Here we go. You said 48. If you think that there is not an honest conversation being had on both sides, type a number 3 in the comments. Come on now, I'm going to have you typing all the numbers now. Here we go. If you think they are not having an honest conversation on both sides having an honest conversation, type the number 3 in the comments. Because see, that's part of the problem, right? Law enforcement does need more training, right? The community needs to see it from the perspective of the police, and both need to have an honest conversation. On this, we can agree. On this, we can agree. See, my best training happened when I went to college, happened when I became a police trainer myself in firearms, defensive tactics, and a bunch of other stuff, happened when I became a certified anger management specialist, right? Shit didn't happen in the academy. It didn't happen in the academy, right? So there are improvements that need to be made, but I don't know what this is going to do, but I know what this is going to do. Let's push. Let's get to the meme. That's why y'all fought. That's why y'all watched. Here we go. Other policing highlights. It requires officers to issue a citation rather than arrest for low-level offenses. I'll give you my opinion about this. It requires officers to issue a citation rather than arrest for low-level offenses. It provides confidential mental health screening and counseling for officers. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Confidential ain't confidential, baby. They say it's going to be confidential. I don't necessarily know about that. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't know. You said not even fair. This is just not fair. Why do people have to TW each other, their young kids, how to fight? Okay. Low-level offenses have been redefined. Here we go. Type the number 4 if you need to observe the decisions by local and state politicians that are driving crime rates and thereby police presence to quell criminal or disruptive behaviors. I guess that's what you got me to read it. So here we go. Nicole, my autistic brother-in-law was handcuffed and stuff because he was having behavioral issues. Crisis should have been called. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is the type of fair conversation that we need to have, because there are officers out there who don't understand autistic persons. There are officers out there who need the extra training. So there are some good parts in this bill. There are some good parts in this bill. I am not against it entirely. Some parts, it's horrible. Other parts, it's good. And it needed more work. It needed more work. Here we go. Let's get to it. All right. Oh, sorry. Wrong screen. Here we go. Amends police pre-arrest deflection programs to allow for collaboration with other first responders and community partners. Community partners. Isn't this what you were just asking for? Right? Crisis services are not available in most cities and towns in Illinois, only in major cities. See, this is another aspect of this legislation they may not have considered. So what's the time frame for when a police officer in a rural city encounters somebody they know has an autism issue, or they know has another issue requiring crisis intervention? How long is it going to take that crisis intervention? Are they going to halo in? For those of you all who don't know what that is, that's high altitude, low opening for the military. Are they going to be airdropped in? Are they going to come in airborne? How are they going to come in? You said, why are we having this conversation about the police and we're still dying by the thousands? Because, Rodney, we're not having the honest conversation about us killing us. Are we saying the same things? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Here we go. The hospital takes 90 minutes for the screener to arrive. Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Here we go. I'm being careful on the comments that's coming across because some of you all are commenting and I don't want to say it. I believe officers without training are officers without options and an unfortunate situation waiting to happen. Yes, Mike. Yes, you are 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. Like, how do you take a shooter to Burger King but shoot a man for selling cigarettes? I get what you're saying, Nicole. But do you remember the situation with the DC sniper, Lee Boyd Malvo, and John Allen Muhammad? Do you remember that situation where the Maryland State Police and the people in that situation caught both of them sleeping in the car? Guess what the Maryland State Police could have done to Lee Boyd Malvo and John Allen Muhammad? They could have found a reason to shoot and kill them while they were asleep. But what happened? They busted the car, woke them up out their sleep, took them to custody without incident. And those two, specifically one of them, killed a lot of people in the DC belt. So what I'm just saying is, make sure when you mention that part, we have the fairness of the conversation to mention the other half. Here we go. What about high schoolers that won't that big effect? Oh, read it again. What about high schoolers? Won't that be a big effect on us, especially due to the violence the youth endures on a day-to-day basis in Chicago? Wonderful point. Wonderful point. So if someone is carrying a firearm without a CCL, they only get a ticket. No, that is not what that is. We got to get to... Nicole, you're right. There's also white-on-white murders, Asian killing Asian, Mexican killing Mexicans. It happens in all nationalities. Thank you, Nicole. More often than not, that's not the case. Okay. I was crisis intervention training when I was on the force. Here we go. Let's get to it. We got more. Oh, sorry. Let me do this comment real quick. Push it down, and then we got more. All right, here we go. Offenses. How many of you all seen this picture? Sorry, it's not blown up because my face. I want to see my big face. Here we go. How many of you all seen this picture? How many of you all seen this picture? If you seen this picture, type the number 5 in the comments. If you've seen this picture, type the number 5 in the comments because this is what has you all, oh my God, it's going down. It's going to be a lot of catch and release. Oh my God. It's just got you all going all over the doggone place. All over the place. Oh Lord. It's got you going all over the place. Illinois non-detainable offenses beginning January 1st, 2023. Aggravated battery, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, arson, burglary, drug-induced homicide, intimidation, kidnapping, robbery, second-degree murder. Oh no, not murder. And of course, it had to add threatening a public official. So let's go on ahead and break some of this stuff down. Here we go. Non-detainable offenses. First of all, aggravated battery is a class 3 felony. And what does that P means? We're going to get to it. Here we go. Aggravated DUI is a class 2 felony. Aggravated fleeing and eluding on the first incident, it's a class A misdemeanor committed 3 times, or if there's a speed involved, things of that nature, it ends up being a class 4 felony. Arson is a class 2 felony. Burglary is a class 2 felony. Type the letter that you all are seeing a lot in these offenses as they're popping up. Type the letter on the screen that you see continuously pop up at the end of all of these. P. Let's find out what that is. drug-induced homicide, class X, intimidation, class 3, probationable. That's right. Let's get to the other ones. Here we go. Kidnapping, class 2, probationable. Robbery, class 2, probationable. Second-degree murder, depending upon the background and the circumstances, class 1, felony, probationable. Threatening a public official, class 3, probationable. Do you understand the common theme? That these are probationable offenses for people with low or no background. Low or no background. How many of you have been following me for quite some time, and I've been telling you all to listen to Cook County Bond Court? There is literally no reason whatsoever why you can't listen to Cook County Bond Court. It is on YouTube. And if you're trying to listen to Central Bond Court, all you got to do is look up Cook County Courthouse, Layton Room 100. And you will hear the type of people that get arrested all the time. And you hear the type of scores. There are very few that actually get arrested that have low or no background. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Let's push because we got more to talk about in this. I hope you all are valuing this. I really hope that you all have sent some money to that Cash App, $5, right? Other people get super chats on their YouTube. I have no problem asking. You have not because you ask not. And at least I want to put the $5 towards my children's books so kids can actually get the information that are in these books, because that's where we really need to start. At home. And $5 will help me get a book to a kid. I ain't gonna beg, but I damn sure am gonna ask. The Cash App's coming across the screen. If you would be so kind, let's push. I love y'all ass. Here we go. So here are the Illinois sentencing guidelines, right? Class M, murder, minimum 20 to 60 years. Class X, 6 to 30, Class 1, 4 to 15, Class 2, 3 to 7, Class 3, 2 to 5, and Class 4, 1 to 3 years. An extended term, if eligible, they end up getting more, okay? We do not have death. We do not have death. We do not have death. See the Cash App, Marcy? Right there. If you got Cash App, I could put Zelle and other stuff right there, but my page isn't monetized. So that what I tell myself first, that's the Cash App for my book. If you have that, if not, that's fine. You said put the link in the comments. No problem. I gotta find out what the doggone link is. Shit. And I know I got my my moderators here. I don't know what that. Let me see what that link is. All right, here we go. What is low background? Low background. You know it. Maybe one arrest. Conviction was like years ago, stuff like that. Years ago. Years ago. All right, let's push. Here we go. So, here is the whole situation regarding the bail hearing. The bail hearing. Chapter 725, Illinois compile. You said expand the description to get the donate. Yes, if you all are in YouTube, hit the description and all the donate links are right there, right? It's all the it's not just Cash App, it's also PayPal. I would appreciate it, okay? You said, so would it be wrong to book a B&B for the weekend just to see what happens? You're silly. All right, here we go. Chapter 725, Illinois Compiled Statutes, Act 5, Section 109-1. A person arrested with or without a warrant for an offense for pretrial release may be denied. They don't use the word bail anymore. It's now called pretrial release, okay? For pretrial release, which may be denied under paragraphs 1 through 6 of Section 110-6.1 shall be, here we go, taken without unnecessary delay before the nearest and most accessible judge in that county. So it's not catch and release. It's not catch and release. All people got to do is fucking read. Except when such a county is in a participant in a regional jail authority in which such an event, a person can be taken to the nearest and most accessible judge, irrespective of the county where such judge presides. Now, here we go. I want you all to focus on the 1 through 6. We're going to go through that because it's not catch and release. And a charge shall be filed. Whenever a person arrested, either with or without a warrant, is required to be taken before a judge, a charge may be filed against such person by way of a two-way closed CCT system or hearing that's just talking about the manner in which the hearing takes place. Here we go. This is the citation part that I'm going to interject before we get to the continuation of this. Law enforcement shall issue a citation in lieu of custodial arrest upon proper identification for those accused of the following: traffic offenses. Don't we issue citation for traffic anyway? And 6303, driving under suspended, is a class A. That is not the same thing. Class B and C, criminal misdemeanor offenses or petty business offenses. There's another caveat to this. They must obviously pose no threat to the community or any person, or who have no obvious medical or mental health issues that pose a risk to their own safety. Guess what this is going to require you officers to do? Actually have the knowledge and experience, actually have the knowledge and experience to be able to assess these things, because that's going to come into question. Okay? And those released on citation shall be scheduled just like any other citation 21 days out. That is nothing new. You just have to issue more citations now. That's nothing new. Here we go. This is the old language of 110-6.1, denial of bail in non-probationable felony offenses. It used to be for any felony offense, which a sentence of imprisonment without probation, periodic imprisonment, or conditional discharge is required by law upon conviction where it is alleged that the defendant's admission to bail poses a real and present threat to the physical safety of any person or persons. Let me hit you with the new language. The new language states that it has to be a, thank you for that, Kevin. That's what I'm talking about, Kevin. Let's see. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that for the PayPal. You just donated the hot 50. Go on ahead and make sure I mark this down, because we're going to get these kids these books. Boy, I'm telling you. And you all going to see these pictures too. Okay. Got Kevin with the 50. I humbly appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you. All right, here we go. Now, this is felony offense. So a felony is defined by law as any crime where the sentence imposed ranges from 365 days all the way up to life and or death. Well, we don't have the death penalty in Illinois, so any felony offense. So that means you could be charged with prostitution. Look, do you want to sit in jail? I'm not saying you are going to prostitute yourself. But when times get hard, are you hard, pun intended? When times get hard, are you trying to sit in the county because you can't afford bail? I'm just putting it out there. Come on, y'all name me some low-level felonies. Low-level felonies. But Mike, we're not talking about that. No. You said, no, sir, I'm not. Let him know. I'm just saying, right? Times got hard. You had no choice but to rely on the dick. I'm just saying, here we go. Prostitution should not be a crime, but it is. Do you know what crime is still on the books? adultery. How many of you all would be locked up right now? Don't you put that shit in the comments, boy. Y'all would be locked up right now. Right, the proof is evident and the cock was great. I'm sorry I said that. Let's keep going. Y'all should already know I'm goofy. Oh my God, let's push. Here we go. All right, so the new language says forcible felony. Forcible felony. Under the new language, it's any forcible felony. And we're going to go over the list of forcible felonies. You all going to get educated today. Talking about some catch and release. You got to know the system, not to be fooled by people who want to inflame your passions. Now, don't get me wrong. They did not talk to law enforcement about this. That's the part that makes it bad. But there's some good in this bill. Forcible felony for which a sentence of imprisonment without probation, periodic imprisonment, or conditional discharge is required by law upon conviction, and it is alleged that the defendant's pretrial release poses a, here we go, specific. Look at this last one. Real and present threat, right? Specific. This one is vague and is expanded to everyone. This one is specific. 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 Right? Specific. Real and present threat to any person or the community. They don't leave out the community. They don't leave them out. It's specific. Right? The following charges are subject to denial of pretrial hearing. Since people want to talk about catch and release, that's not what this is. Here are the charges that are subject to the denial of pretrial hearing. Here we go. Forcible felony. Forcible felony. Stalking, aggravated stalking, domestic battery, aggravated domestic battery, weapons offenses under section 24-1.2. So all those weapons offenses, and I'm going to tell you that if you listen to bond court, there are a lot of people charged with weapons offenses. So under this, what you would hear now, what you would hear now is you would hear them get a bond. What you may start to see now is, I'm going to tell you word for word. Your Honor, the state is seeking leave to file a discretionary denial of pretrial release petition under section 110-6.1. I have tendered a copy of the arrest report, this and this and this and this to the defense. Defense, can you acknowledge receipt? I have acknowledged receipt. And guess what the judge will say? The judge will ask the state's attorney to raise their right hand. Do you solemnly swear under oath that this petition and any facts and circumstances that you are about to testify to under section 1-110 under 725 Illinois Compiled Statutes Act 5, section 110-6.1 of the Illinois Criminal Code and the Illinois Code of Criminal Procedure is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? Here we go. I do. You may proceed. Then they would by proffer, Your Honor, if it please the court, and they'll begin to list everything. And then they'll begin to state that the proof is evident and the presumption is great that the defendant committed the offense in that he blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get to that page. We'll see. I know state's attorneys are mad. I know other people are mad about this. Yeah, it's a lot of misunderstanding in this legislation. This looked like it was just thrown together to appease to the masses and the people without any conversation of those who are boots on the ground. The ground prosecutors, right? The ground cops. Here we go. Involuntary servitude, involuntary sexual servitude of a minor. Here we go. Trafficking of persons, non-probationable violations. The person has a high likelihood of willful flight to avoid prosecution and is charged with any felony as described in sections A1 through A5 of this section, or B, a felony offense other than the class 4 offense. Right? Let's push. Here we go. Here are your list of forcible felonies. forcible felonies. Here we go. Now, this is the same screen that I use when I'm teaching my students in concealed carry and unarmed security. And I put these letters right here, or these letters, so that way you can remember them. Treason, murder, predatory criminal sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual assault, criminal sexual assault, robbery, burglary, residential burglary, aggravated arson, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated battery. And that's what these forcible felonies are. So when they're talking about this shit is catch and release, no, the state's attorneys are going to have to work harder. You say you remember this. You remember this slide. They're going to have to work harder to charge, because there's even more provisions in this bill where the defense attorney has the option to call the complaining witness to the stand during the pretrial hearing. Come on now. You said all the courses on the page say out of stock. Yeah, that's concealed carry. That's coming back soon. Okay. The unarmed courses don't say out of stock, not the unarmed. The unarmed is still in stock. Okay. Here we go. Let's push. Now, this is the elements for the petition under 110-6.1. The proof is evident and the presumption is great that the defendant committed the offense as charged in the proffer, right? That this person poses a real and present threat to the safety of a specific identifiable person or persons by conduct, which may include, but is not limited to, a what? Forcible felony, the obstruction of justice, intimidation, injury, or abuse as defined in Section 103 of the Illinois Domestic Violence Act, and there is no condition or combination of conditions as set forth in subsection B of Section 110-10 of this article that can mitigate the real and present threat to the safety of any person or persons or the defendant's willful flight. Does that help you all understand it just a little bit? What are your thoughts? Does that help you understand it just a little bit? Just a little bit. It's not catch and release. It's not catch and release, right? There are some issues with this bill. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. But for people falsely arrested, there's some good stuff in that bill too. For bad cops, there's some stuff in that bill too, right? So it's got some great parts in it. It's got some good parts in it. It's got some horrible parts in it, but it's not catch and release like people are trying to allege. And since we're talking about things, I see they have not done anything to increase the minimum percentage. The minimum percentage. I don't see that they have done anything to increase the minimum percentage that police officers have to be certified with. Do you know what that minimum percentage is? 66%. So at the end of the police academy, the minimum percentage that all officers must pass the academy with is 66%. You want to increase the productivity and the smarts of the officer, but you don't want to increase the minimum standard. You want them to get all this soft training, but you don't want them to stay physically in shape. You don't want them to get more hand-to-hand combatives. You don't want them to get, come on. What happens when the crisis intervention doesn't work? What happens when the social worker gets attacked? What now? What now? What now? That's the problem. What now? I'm just saying. Do you want more Ella Frenches? Is this what you're saying in her memory? Part of the reason why she was on that team is probably because no one told her no. She had no business being on that team. So what are we getting now? A bunch of new boots? Superintendent Brown talked about recruiting is at an all-time high. What are we getting? A bunch of new boots? What are we getting? They're not going to be ready for what's out here now. You all recruited a little too late. And don't get me wrong, this is nothing against David O. Brown. This is nothing against him. I remember when he was chief in Dallas. The David Brown in Dallas is not the David Brown that's at 3501 South Michigan on the 5th floor. These are two different people. Chief David Brown versus Superintendent David Brown are two different people, because David Brown in Dallas told people a long time ago, if you want to see change, you got to sign up and let's go and put you on the streets. Let's make change happen. Now he's begging and pleading in Chicago for officers to sign up. And then you got the numbers. But wait till they get on the streets. Wait till they get to O Block. Thank you, Lena. I appreciate that. Wait till they get to O Block. Shouts out to Lena for that. I saw it come through. Wait till they get to O Block. Thank you, Myron. I appreciate what that was something else, Myron. Myron sent something else. But I appreciate that. You said the worst channel on YouTube? Mine? Damn, that's nice. I gotta put his comment up here. The worst channel on YouTube. If you agree that this is the worst channel on thank you, Christy. Get him out of here. The worst channel on YouTube. It could be. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this channel is horrible. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to your comments and questions. Here we go. 1, Mike, have you considered with bail or bonds, it helps tax dollars expended for police and courts. Now it'll hit us all harder. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Right. You're right. You're right. Was it Miss Freeman? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to be here to like or love me or my opinions. I want you to have the freedom to continuously say what you want to say, but you can't come in and say worst channel on YouTube and then expect to stay. Let me put you out. Fuck. Oh, Miss Freeman, come on. I want to get you some books. I want to get you some books. Here's this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. You all already know that I'm passionate about family. You all know I'm passionate about family. Family matters. Family matters. Hey, Chris. Yeah, you said thank you for this. There's been so much noise on this bill. Look, like I said, there are some things that in this bill there is need for improvement, right? There is need for improvement in this bill, but the catch and release part, I'm like, nah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that when you look at the things in terms of what people are saying, what season are we in the middle of? We're in the middle of election. So because we're in the middle of an election, Mr. Honey and Henny Pack is saying Miss Freeman look good. Don't let me be hook up for both of y'all. Oh my God. Here we go. You said, I love these talks. It helps our community understand each other better. Yeah, I think there's work that needs to be done with this bill. There's definitely work that needs to be done. But I think it has some good parts and it has some questionable parts in here that may not have been thought out. But don't give any politicians, who am I to tell you don't give them shit, right? Do what you want. They're your representatives, right? But understand this. These politicians gave the people what they wanted. How many politicians? We got to take a break. We got to take a break. Mr. Honey and Henny Pack and Miss Freeman. Oh, hey, y'all better, and y'all both on YouTube. All right. Here we go. Miss Freeman, 773-644-5000. 773-644-5000. Mr. Honey Pack, You too. All right. If y'all want me to hook y'all up, right, go on ahead and hook y'all up. Next thing you know, people getting married on this damn thing. Look, tonight on Instructor Mike's dating game. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to invite you all up to the stream if you all want to talk about it. Because I don't want to make this just a me and my comments. I want to invite you up, and I'm going to pin the Christy, if you could pin the link, to the top, right? I just dropped the link. If you could pin the link to the top, and now here we go. If you come on here, you waive your right to privacy, because I'm going to take this video, take clips of it, put it in different places on my social media. So, hey, if you want to be in here, you waive your right to privacy, but I definitely don't mind you all coming up here. You got to cam up. We got bots, things like that. I pinned it up there, Christy. We got bots. So if you want to come on up, you're more than welcome to come on up, ask your questions, state your comments, make sure that you're respectful to each other, all that great stuff. If not, we're going to keep on going, maybe end it in a little bit. Okay. What's going on? I appreciate you all. You said I'm putting up a laughing face and it shows you're angry. God damn it. Here we go. Let's see what other comments. So what do you all think about it? Here we go. Is the problem then this legislation or that Kim Foxx doesn't prosecute criminals? This is confusion and causes more division. You know, I think she may have a percentage to do with certain prosecution decisions, but not them all. I don't think she has a lot to do with all of the prosecutorial decisions that come out, because she has supervisors. She has and I'm not defending her. I'm just stating what I know about the state's attorney's office, right? She has other prosecutors. She has first deputies. She has deputies. She has supervisors, felony review, you know, so I don't know. You know, I've heard in bond court where prosecutors have decided on the, you know, they have a lot of autonomy to be able to decide whether they're going to prosecute or not, if there's enough evidence that they feel they can meet the requirements. Yeah, I pinned it, Chrissy. It's all good. Yeah, I pinned it. Nobody's coming up, so it's all good. Y'all must be at work, or your baby hairs and your edges didn't heal up all the way. He said, Mike, I had an experience last week with a CPD officer that told me he didn't care if I filed a complaint on him with COPA. Yeah, most don't care. Most don't care. Yeah, most don't really care. You said Kim Foxx does a great job. Thank you for your comment. Pushing on. Here we go. Got it. Here we go. The one thing that Ayanna Vazan, can't say her last name. Byron, you said, quick question. What's your input on the gun control bill? I still got to read it. What's up, Katie? He said he threatened to kick your butt. Hey, Katie, if you want to come up, we were talking about the, good job. You ignored him and kept on moving. Yeah, I'm back at work on break stressing. Are you at work stressing because you really want Miss Freeman to call you? Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, a little Anita, and y'all gonna get this party. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I don't see any other comments. It's 152 of y'all up in here. 152 of you all up in here. Let's see. Can you explain the Illinois purge, please? We just did that, but people are thinking that there's going to be a purge in Illinois because of the catch and release statute that they say exists. Right? I'll show you that screen in a minute. Matter of fact, let me get back to it. They think it's going to be catch and release because of this. This has been get to it. Sorry. Okay, sorry, went too fast. Here we go. They think it's going to be catch and release because of this. That right there. The thing is going to be catch and release because of that. And that little me, have you seen that going around? No, I get it. I get it. Did I say Luther Vandross? Yes. Come on, Love Connection. I'm still, matter of fact, let me check. I didn't even check my phone. Let me see if y'all want to connect. Y'all didn't send a text message. I'm not connecting y'all if y'all don't say y'all want to get together. You said, Mike, you never got to me on coming to Maryland. You know what? That's because I still have to get approval from Maryland State Police to teach classes there. Right. So I'm waiting on that. When that happens, yeah, I'm there, Supernova. Just to answer your question, I'm there. I live in Memphis. You ain't getting after the first time you going to print. You ain't getting out after the first time you're going to print. But that's Tennessee. Tennessee's different. You said I took the security class years ago. I saw this photo going around. Some of you all are coming into the live late. So all the fire that I had for teaching this is kind of low now. Kevin on deck. Kevin, you got to cam up. Kevin in the back. I dropped the pin. I'm going to drop the link again. And if you all want to come up and talk about it, come on, let's go. Let's go. Because I'll gladly go over the presentation again while y'all here. I don't have a problem. And matter of fact, I thought I was going to have throat issues, but I'm not. Kevin, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I can't. Matter of fact, why can't you hear you? Oh, that's why, because my volume's down. Hold on. Kevin, what's going on?
How you doing?
All right, buddy. How are you?
Good.
All right, let's go. You quiet? I thought you had something to say.
No, I missed the important point, I think. So I was kind of like trying to get a little synopsis review of it sounds like what's going on in this new bill is kind of already going on. Is that what I got out of that?
Well, yeah. So here's this. What's going on in the new bill is people are thinking because of this meme that has been going around WCFN News under the new law. After being charged with the crimes listed, those arrested would be released without bail pending a court date. But it does not add the factual caveat, right? It does not add the factual caveat that all of these are probationable offenses if you have no background. You see what I'm saying? If you have no background, Miss Freeman, you got Facebook. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. Mr. Honey and Henny Pack getting hooked up live on Instructor Mike. Y'all go ahead. By God. Okay, go on ahead. Y'all chat it up in the comment section. Watch y'all get married and have 7 kids. Don't get divorced. Unless you really had a marriage license for 5 years and y'all said after 5 years it's over with. Look, yes, positive. Cindy Freeman at Honey and Henny Pack. Yeah, hey, make sure. Boy, look what's going on here. I got no problem putting this comment up here. Yes, sir. Hey, yep, okay. Make sure y'all not trauma bonding. You heard me. Because I don't want you to be like, Mike, I should have never got the Honey Henny Pack. I did it for the D. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. Defense. That's where we're talking about. That kind of D. Moving on. Here we go. So people are not, they didn't put the right information on here that would make these non-detainable. And that's not really what type of offenses these are, because if you look at it, aggravated battery is a forcible felony. Aggravated DUI is not. Aggravated fleeing is not. Arson is a forcible felony. Burglary is a forcible felony. Kidnapping, robbery is a forcible felony, right? And practically any felony involving the use of force, right? Intimidation, that is a felony, right? Depending upon the level of intimidation, it could be construed as a forcible felony. Second-degree murder is a forcible felony. Threatening a public official, depending upon the manner in which this threat was carried out, could be considered a forcible felony. So there's a lot of caveats here that's not put on this. This is a trigger meme right here.
Well, I mean, so you're saying since they're forcible felonies, they can be held.
Absolutely. I'm going to go through the slide. Right, here we go. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at this. We already talked about the commonalities amongst these, right? They're probationable, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the person has low or no background, you know, they got a risk assessment. And in that risk assessment, I'm trying to get to it real quick. In that risk assessment, it is shown that they have no background, right? You know, and then depending upon the facts and circumstances, that's what people aren't taking into consideration, is that it's not just a charge, it's what's alleged in the charge and what, if anything, can be proven at trial, if we even get that far, right?
And what about I don't know if you saw the I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dan Prof.
Sure.
In the newspaper thing he's been sending out with all the people that he says are going to be released January 1st.
That is possible. That is possible because and see, I don't know, they haven't clarified that, but that's possible because if what is holding them in jail is the issues surrounding bail, by the time that happens, they don't just get released. They're still on some level of confinement. I would imagine that there would be some kind of analysis, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is going to be perfect. Right. Oh, I am not saying this is going to be perfect. But, and I'm going to get to what you said, Ms. Freeman, I am almost willing to bet that there are a percentage of the people in that jail who probably could beat their case or probably shouldn't be in there. And the only thing that has them in there is this bail.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cop in me wants to keep people who need to be locked up in jail. The person who was falsely arrested by the police in me understands overzealous cops and overzealous prosecution. And so this is why I'm at a middle ground here.
Isn't it kind of, I mean, so shouldn't we kind of like, or I understand why this is happening in a way, because like we were talking, it's an election year, and shouldn't it be maybe slow down a little? And like, I mean, even when this stuff is brought up to our glorious JB Pritzker, he doesn't say any of this. He just says, "Oh, that's propaganda. That's lies. That's bull crap." Well, you're not even, either he doesn't understand the damn thing, or he doesn't know how to explain the law because he doesn't defend himself. He just says it's lies.
Well, I mean, he's also running for election too.
But why doesn't he explain it like you're explaining? Like, look, this isn't how this is going to happen.
Well, I really don't have nothing to lose. I'm not running for office. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you think about it. There are a lot of police officers that have a lot of opinions, perhaps better than mine. I yield. But do they have the freedom to express those opinions? And so that is the central piece. You know, now we've got, we haven't seen nothing. If you think the gubernatorial fight is something, Chicago, we're in the middle of a mayor. We're about to see a bunch of stuff coming with that. Yeah. So, you know, it's like there was a time where I was being asked for a small town to run for, you know, an elected position. I opted out of that shit. I like the freedom to be able to say what I want to say, when I want to say, and not have to worry about the opinions of those who mean well, but don't necessarily understand the position that I'm coming from. And there are plenty of politicians who say all the time, I will. And then as soon as they get elected, it's I'm doing what they want.
So do you really think 98% of the AGs are against this, or is this all propaganda too?
See, I don't know the motivations of the attorneys general who are against these things. And see, here's the perspective. Thank God we live in a society where well over 95% of the people who enforce the law have never been victims of it too, as it relates. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been falsely arrested. They haven't been, but right on the day that I got for my first, now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been in handcuffs plenty of times as a trainer, but not as an arrestee. And it's like the minute you thought you did everything right and someone thinks different, when someone thinks different and decides to falsely arrest you, it tends to shake up your world, especially if you're the police and you've been this, and it's like, shit. So I understand both sides. You know, I understand working with that officer who should not be the police. I understand training as a former police trainer, right? Firearms, defensive tactics, go down the list. Just even talking about use of force, I understand the officers who really want to do a great job and then the shitty officers. I understand that because I've dealt with that. I've supervised that. And so, like I said, I also understand the officers who want to go out there and do a great job, have no intentions of overusing or misusing force. I understand those officers who are white but go out and work in a black town and automatically get called racist. When I'm with these guys, and this guy is the nicest officer you will ever meet and will give you the shirt off his back, but simply because he has light skin, he's automatically a racist.
Yeah.
And then having to fight through all of those emotions just to still come in with a straight face, knowing that no matter what you do, you'll always be seen as a C word with that's not the Ritz, that's opposite of Graham that you put in soup. You get what I'm saying, right? Or even the black officers who some of the white officers will think is double marginality, or you're just going to go out there and give your people a break. And then the black officers who work in the community who get called Uncle Tom, Sambo. So I understand all of it because I've experienced it all. You know, I've experienced it all. And so having experienced it all, looking at it from the perspective of the prosecutors, I get why they want to lock people up. The more people they lock up, the tougher they are on crime, because the state's attorney has to get elected too.
Well, Kim Foxx isn't doing a good job of locking people up.
Well, yeah, but here's this, though. The people who had problems with that, they weren't strong enough to get her out of office. And I honestly thought that...
I didn't think she was going to get reelected, honestly. I said, how could you?
Yeah, I didn't think so, but she did get reelected.
Yeah,
and
which is the part of this whole political thing, you know. I mean, I'm for anybody who's going to help the people, which sure. I don't think it's been 100 years of the same crap in Chicago, and I live out in the suburbs, but I work in there, and it's like, when are you just going to stop doing the same thing over and over and over again? That's like the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing and thinking it's going to change. You're voting for the same people.
But here's this, though. Are the politicians wanting it to be the same? Or are they?
I think the politicians are doing a good job of dividing us even on this.
True. But what are there are multiple factions of the people who elect the politicians. And so that's the question, because here's this. I've been in some houses in the Mount Greenwood and the Beverlys and the Ravenswoods and stuff where they're Democratic by game, but Republican around the dinner table.
Yeah.
And they play Democrat because that's the bag. That's the bag. That's how we get the money. That's how we get the contracts. That's how we get the this. That's how we get the that. But around the table, straight Republican. Now, me, I'm an independent. I get damn either way, whatever. but straight Republican. And I get it. Regardless of how I feel, I get it. And so if they're playing that game, in the comments, they'll say, oh my God, we don't like this. Oh, we don't like this. This is horrible. This is this. And then they'll go right and vote for the same people they don't like. Why? It secures my check.
Yeah.
It secures my check. It secures my check. It secures my bag. It secures my this. I still got my thoughts and opinions, but thoughts and opinions are not paying the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are experiencing is not happening in my community. It's not. I remember years ago when Joshua Beals came from a funeral procession at Mount Hope and came through Kedzie, approaching came on 111th, traveling westbound by the firehouse on the north side of the street, got into a shootout, he pointed his gun. The Chicago sergeant shot him, and then all of a sudden the activists, I will not say their name, but the activists descended on Mount Greenwood, and Mount Greenwood came out in droves. Oh, hell no, y'all not doing this shit here. You're not fucking up Mount Greenwood. And I was out there for that. I remember that. So the stuff that you see, like during the riots that happened a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
The riots that happened a couple of years ago, they happened in certain communities. They didn't happen that much in the Hispanic community. They didn't happen that much in Mount Greenwood. Shit didn't happen that much in Beverly. You damn sure didn't go over to other communities where they were ready to fight back. And so we can play both sides of the same coin. We can say in the comments we don't want this to happen, but I'm not going to vote against it because, they'll find out who I voted for. And the next thing you know, I'm out of a job, I'm out of this, I'm out of that. I'm only doing this until I get my pension. And once I get my pension, me and my family, we are out. We're out of here. So it's a game and everybody's playing and who's getting what. Like even in this act, as much as I would want to sit here and say, well, the politicians, I had to pause and think. Remember your politics class? Representative government, the people, the majority of their constituents asked for this.
Do you think so, though? Or do you think that's what the media portrayed?
Well, here's this. Yes and no. I'm glad you kicked back on that, Kevin, because here's this. I know some politicians, I swear, I will never say their name, but I know some politicians who were against it, but boy, you better not vote against this shit. Oh, you'll be one and done. So now you got to go with everybody else.
Well, that's part of the problem too. You know,
Yeah.
if you know you only have 8 years in office, then that doesn't matter as much.
True.
You know, you're not making a career out of it.
Civics. Thank you, Lucretia. Shouts out to you. Civics. I'm sorry, I said politics.
I want to let you get back to your other people. I'm kind of hogging the thing here.
Anybody else in the background? If they were up, I would have brought them up.
Is there still the Facebook chat or no?
I don't know. If anybody else wants to come up, I dropped the link. If you want to come up, please feel free. This has been a wonderful conversation, Kevin. I appreciate you for contributing to it. I just
a long time. I got a lot of friends, guy down in Missouri that watches you now, and
appreciate it.
Speak the truth.
Yeah, they do. But just be careful. And the thing is, this act really isn't going to affect everyone like people believe. And here's the reason why. You got other communities that even in this act, crime may not be as high. The community knows each other. They band together. You see what I'm saying? It's more of a community than it is the hodgepodge cagglefuck that we have in Chicago. It's different. And so I don't think that other communities and other suburbs are going to really feel it unless people start to shift living here and they move down to other Now you're going to start to see some, oh, hell no, you can't bring your ass here because no, we're not having that. You might start to see some of that.
Is that is that the overwhelming I live out, like I said, but in between Rockford and Chicago.
Sure. Yep, somewhere in there. Yep.
And Is it really the majority of people in the city that really think that cops are trying to kill them? And
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 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 Yep. Mm-hmm. And so, see, the thing is, the honest conversation is not being had because some people have actually experienced, I don't do nothing to deserve this bona fide harassment. And then others have experienced, I don't deserve this bona fide harassment, but I'm not being honest about the environment that I don't want to say necessarily live in, but the shit that I do. Like, if you're about that life and you're in the streets and the cops are fucking with you because you're serving narcotics, regardless of your reasons for doing it, I get it. You serving narcotics because you got to make that money because you're poor and whatever the case may be. I get it. But they're not being honest. Like, if you're really into that drug gang life, you can't. Everybody ready to bang out till it's time to do that shit. Everybody's a gangster till it's time to do that. And then you expect the police to come with rose glasses and soft hands and shit. That's not realistic.
No, I mean, how can they approach a person that way when they just kill innocent people without any regard about it? I mean,
yeah,
they'll kill a cop in a heartbeat.
And it's true. It's true. And so I get both sides of it. I get the overzealousness of certain cops who, if we dig deeper, this doesn't apply to all, but this does apply to some, have some real deep-seated behavioral issues where they have a need to be needed. And you can't tell them no, because there is nothing more dangerous than a person, regardless of profession, but especially a cop. There is nothing more dangerous than a person who is wrong and doesn't want to admit that they are wrong. General Colin Powell has a saying: avoid having your ego so closely connected to your position that when your position falls, your ego falls with it. And there have been times where matter of fact, just this past week, went in to advocate for a young man who was turning in his guns, not his guns to the police, but turning in his FOID card to comply with the FOID card act because the stuff was revoked. And this officer wanted to argue with me up and down about filling out the FOID firearm disposition form that the state police says you have to fill out. He said, nah, you don't have to fill that out. All you got to do is go on the website and do the private transaction and get that transaction number, and they gonna see it. You don't even have to fill it out. I'm like, that's not true. Okay, well, if you want, I will post the video after this live. There is nothing more dangerous than someone like that. And if you encounter him on the street, he'll be the first to lock your ass up. And he wasn't white either. He was black. See, we're not having an honest conversation.
No.
And when we start having that honest conversation, and some of these guys swallow their pride and sit here and say, all right, maybe there are some things I do need to do. Maybe we can get somewhere. And it can't just be the cops. It's got to be the community too, because everybody's hiding in lies. Everybody's hiding in happiness. They're hiding in that shit. And
I mean, I see it on here, and it's, I mean, doesn't anyone, I mean, I'm not trying to judge anybody, but does anybody in these communities, like, just cannot stand what is going on? Like, innocent people being killed, yet they want, like, I see people on here like, oh, you're defending cops, you were a cop, you know, like, it's I can see the vision right there, that I don't even know how to explain it. Like, oh, Mike was a cop, now that explains it. Now he's defendant, you know what I mean? You know, it's like, but you don't know any cops, but I can see your side too. You're just automatically assuming what he's doing. Like, there's this huge like stake in the middle of even your own community.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure there's people that like just can't stand that my little girl or my little boy might get shot today walking to school, and then there's others that it seems like just don't see the real problem. Like the problem is the cops. No, it's not. I mean, I'm an outsider, but I really think the government screwed everything up by just giving and giving. I mean, we gave all the money, we gave everything to the Indians. Are they doing very well? They're living on reservations, and a lot of them have nothing, and they're alcoholics, and it's just sad. You can't give out handouts and expect anyone to have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
People have to have a purpose.
Yeah, I will say this. People do have to have a purpose. But there's a lot that goes with that. There's a lot to unpack in that.
Yeah, there is. I'm not trying to make it that cut and dry at all.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. This is how conversations start. You're absolutely fine. And while there is a lot to unpack in this, because we could argue about who started what, problems that are present. I like the argument of controlling my controllables. You know, you can't always, sure, we can blame other people on the outside, but what are the things that we are doing on the inside that we actually have control over? Could it have been that a person was actually speeding? Could it have been that you weren't wearing your seatbelt? Could it have been that you actually did run that light? Could it have actually been that you were getting into a domestic altercation trying to beat the crap out your wife? Could it have been the fact that maybe you as the officer did take out a bad day on this person and they did nothing to deserve it? Could it be the fact that maybe the perception of what you think about a subset of people is based not on reality, but what you were taught, and that you're stubborn in that position and you don't want to change? Could it be the fact that you have a need to be needed, and when a person tells you no, the audacity? It is so many different things, and no one's really being honest. Part of the reason we can't be honest is because of litigation that is in place. Litigation that's in place. So if we, the police, are honest, how many settlements are they going to have to pay out for that honesty?
Mm-hmm.
We, the community, can't be honest because some of this stuff is a lie. So fuck it. We fighting on that lie because free the guys. We want to sit here and have the freedom to be able to sell narcotics and sell this and sell that because it's an enterprise. And you fucking with our money. It's so many different tangents to all of this. And then trying to make sense of it all while still ignoring that a good percentage of these problems start from home.
What would you say, if you can even answer this?
Sure.
A percentage of the enterprise that you just put it,
sure, versus
the percentage of people that just want to have a normal life and not worry about the enterprise coming along and their kids getting in the middle of their arguments. You know what I mean? Like, is the enterprise like bigger than the community, or is the community bigger than the enterprise?
Well, it depends on what community we're talking about now. Here's this. This is where I love this conversation, Kev. Fuck, I love this conversation, because here's the problem. In gangs of New York, we get one half of the lower to fight the other half. You see what I'm saying? So then when you look at certain things, like I use this in my class all the time. People that come to the class, fill up a room, be there for the same purpose, but won't speak to each other. We don't speak to each other unless your friends fucking the financing. Oh my God. Right? So, and that's within the community. So then do we go outside of the community and see how other communities operate to see that there is more, to see that there is better, to see that there are resources that we do have access to? Or do we just stay within this little bubble and then the enterprise operates within the community to victimize the weaker? Like you have class warfare that takes place inside a cohort of your own people that look just like you. And this isn't this is a new thing now. Crime is running rampant. Shit happens in the 60s too, where you got, black mafias and stuff like that, and run numbers, rackets and shit. This is nothing new. It's happened during Prohibition.
Yeah. Al Capone.
Yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not a new thing.
Right.
It's not a new thing. And so when you look at it, I just look at the values. Some things we are never going to get rid of. We're never going to get rid of narcotics and people using criminal ways to make money. We're never going to get rid of that.
All right.
We're never going to get rid of that. You're never going to get rid of bad police officers. I don't care what nobody say. You are never going to get rid of bad police officers because, just like you're not going to never get rid of bad parenting. You're not going to ever get rid of bad anything in any profession, because where there's good, there's evil. There's always two sides of that same coin. Right. So I guess the whole thing is, how can we lessen it? What if anything, can we do to make it work? Yeah, what are the things that we control? What are the things that we control? I'm still trying to get people to work on parenting at home. We got to start there. I'm reading some of the comments here. Let's be honest.
It's hard to do. I mean, that's hard to do for, I think, when the government interferes and encourages separation of family. I think that's hard to overcome, I'm
going to get to your old comment, old head, because you got a good comment. Was it Spurl? Hope I said that right. Let's be honest. None of us want to live in these crime-ridden neighborhoods, and none of us want to run into a crooked cop. We can all agree on that. Nobody wins in either of those scenarios. If Aunt Betty owned that corner store, do you think them boys would be hustling out of it if they would have gave her reparation? Maybe she would have owned it. Well, I don't know, young old head, because I remember hearing of stories where people had to pay for protection.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be any different today. I don't know. We can have that conversation too. And more.
Does that still happen?
Huh?
Does that still happen? Do any of the gang members or anything go around trying to protect other businesses, or they don't care?
No.
There's not enough money in that, is there?
Probably not. Like, who's gonna protect your CMOS business? Or
right.
you don't make enough money for that shit. I don't know. I don't know. Who's gonna protect the bakery? I don't know if that's a thing that happens as much. I'm sure it might happen in one way, shape, or form or fashion in a different way. But I'm just using that in context. If Aunt Betty owned the store, it depends on what neighborhood it's in. Because I guarantee you, there are some businesses owned by some black folks that they still hustle out of that store. Shit, I don't know, young old head. I don't know if there's something that right, Practical Kid, private security. Oh, here we go, Raymond. Most of these gang members and drug dealers are in cahoots with most of these convenience stores and gas stations. That's why they load outside and the police are never called on them. Absolutely. And here we go. Tay Harper says, yes, it still happens, at least in Philly. Tay, you remember the Philadelphia Black Mafia?
I got one for you, Mike.
Go ahead.
So another truth or falsehood that I heard about this bill is, if someone's trespassing in your business or at your home, the only thing the cop can do is write them a ticket. It's up to you to remove them.
Yeah,
from
it's
the
true.
property.
It's true, because criminal trespassing, can't even say it right. Criminal trespassing to land is a Class B misdemeanor.
So what are my rights or anybody's right, a business owner or anything? How much force can you use to remove someone?
That is the part in the law that they did not fix in this bill. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. So I remember when I was at one of my locations that I had when I first started my business, 455 West 79th Street in Chicago. And I had I don't always get them, but I had an unruly student who I told to leave. They would not leave. I physically grabbed them, escorted them out. They called the police. So then you said, how do you remove them? Oh, I physically grabbed them and escorted them out, right? I didn't like punch them or anything. That's not me. I don't do that unless you're trying to attack me. There's a difference between trying to defeat the arrest and then trying to attack me. There's a difference, right? So then I grabbed them and then, escorted them outside and they called the police. Police arrived on scene. And when the police arrived on scene, I remember it was this old school black cop, gold tooth. He had them butters. Raymond, you remember that? Right. He had them butters, the slick hair. It was an old school. He did like this. I'll tell you what I had seven, but I fit. So it was him. It was another female cop. It was about 3 or 4 of them. So he had spoken to her. And then I don't have a problem saying it was her, whatever. I don't do genderless shit. It's genderless. I don't give a damn. So he had spoken to her outside, and then they came back inside and said, well, Mr. Brown, you can't be putting your hands on people, and we're going to have to lock you up. I said, so there's no domestic relationship here, right? So you would be locking me up for 720 ILCS Act 5, Section 12-1. What's that? I'm sorry, 12-2. That's battery, because 12-1 is assault, right? I said, that's debondable because I have no priors. That's $150. But I had every right to do what I did. Well, Mr. Brown, I'm willing to listen to you. What's the reason you felt you had to do it? Well, okay, here we go. Chapter 725, Illinois Compiled Statutes, Act 5, Section 107-3. That's the statute for a private citizen's arrest. It states that any person may arrest another when he or she has reasonable grounds to believe that an offense other than an ordinance violation is being committed. Prior to you all getting here, the offense that she actually committed in the presence of 49 other people in here is criminal trespass to land and disorderly conduct. She was being disorderly in class. I told her multiple times to stop. She refused to stop. She disrupted the decorum of the classroom in violation of the disorderly conduct statute. I told her multiple times to leave. Previously, I invited her in, but there's a part within that statute under 21-3 that states if you were previously invited in, but that permission has been rescinded and you are asked multiple times to leave, having thereafter receiving that notification refused to leave, you are now in violation of the statute of criminal trespass to land. Well, what gave you the ability to be able to put your hands on her? Okay, Section 7-7 of the Illinois Criminal Code states that a private person who makes or assists another private person in making a lawful arrest is justified in the use of force he would be justified in using if he were summoned or directed by a peace officer to make such an arrest. So I did the same thing you would have did if you came in to arrest her. I grabbed her by her arm and I escorted her out. But I know you don't believe me. Call the sergeant. Sergeant comes on scene. I tell him everything. The sergeant says, so why are we about to arrest Mr. Brown when he clearly outlined everything that he did and it was according to the law? Go 19, Paul. Hit the streets. Saying all that to say this, private citizens in Illinois, this isn't like Georgia. Georgia specifies, or other states specify, that it must be a felony before you make the arrest. In Illinois, 725 ILCS 5, section 107-3 states that you can arrest another person if you have reasonable grounds to believe that an offense other than an ordinance violation is being committed. So you could arrest them and sign complaints and testify, and the police process it. Or you can just escort them out yourself. You're allowed to use that force. The same law also allows you with the ability to unarrest someone too, without you playing police.
Well, how many cops know that, and how many citizens know that?
I know. See,
I could run around being Barney Fife. Citizens arrest.
Right? No. But see, I know it because I teach it. I've always known it. I've known it since 2003. Same statute.
You would have got arrested if you didn't know it.
Oh yeah, I would definitely got arrested. Hell yeah. You know, I wasn't going to resist against the guys, but I knew how to legally talk shop with these guys and call for a supervisor stating the same thing. And see, the thing is this: a percentage of police officers don't know the law. And then when you confront them with the ignorance of the law that they have, their ego is connected to that truth.
You see it on YouTube all the time.
Where they will lock you up simply because you know and they don't.
Right. Well, you see it on the simplest videos about trespassing. Like,
yes. Hey, Mark, what's going on?
I stand here, you know. No, you can't. This is public property. No, this isn't public. Or this is private property. No, it's not. I'm on an easement. You know, it's like they just sit there and tell you can't do, but you can do.
Right. And then there's that need to be needed. Like, why do you need? There are some police officers and even citizens who have the need to be right. They need to be needed. And it's like, if you need to be needed, just like prime example. So NYPD, they were kicked out of the Gay Pride Parade. And they went to social media and expressed disgust. I give a shit if you don't want me to be there. I'm going to do some other shit. Like, why do you need to be needed? And why do you get mad because they don't want you there? That's all ego. And that's why I said we got to have an honest conversation. If we don't have that honest conversation and just be honest, I'm going to give you another case in point. Oh, I love this conversation, Kevin. Look, what is the reason you think that military recruiting stations and substations are in some of the most Maslow's hierarchy of needs deprived areas? Because some people go to the military for service to country, but other people go to the military for security and sustenance. It's a Maslow issue.
They want to feel needed, yeah.
They want to feel needed. The government, and I'm proud to be an American. Come on, it's a need. I'm a patriot too. I would serve this country. I'd do it again. I give a shit. I don't know how they would draft me. What would I be? The tank? I'm just saying fat, but whatever. I'd do it again. But I'm just saying that need to be needed to where you can't disconnect from that stop.
I don't want to get off subject here too much, but what is going on with, or is it just being reported now, the police suicides? Has it always been?
The need to be needed. See, there are a lot of police officers, they put, so the job, that's a wonderful
not
question.
Needed anymore, they're gone. I mean,
well, yeah,
ultimate.
Unintended, but, oh my God. But if you look at it, when you have unhealed issues, the job can only do so much. And it takes a lot out of you.
So you think well, it can happen to a lot of people that are hardworking people. If they retire, they have no need. They have no purpose.
And this is the reason why you see some cops who retire and they get back on the job someplace else. Like, it's that constant need to be needed.
Right.
You know, and the thing is, that doesn't make them bad people, but those are needs that need to be addressed.
You go from every day being part of something, and now all of a sudden you have what? Nothing. You wake up and nothing.
Or even that you really valued your family.
Yeah.
But then your family doesn't really understand the job, or your wife has eyes for someone else because you're always at work. It is so many. And the thing is, in this bill, they're talking about confidential mental health service. Do you know what comes with that? It's like, it's hard. Matter of fact, I'll give you case in point. We ain't even talking about the police. We're just talking about average, everyday, my former students who sit here. And I had one young lady who just the stress of being a single parent. And with that stress of being a single parent, she went to call one of the hotlines. And as soon as she called the hotline, guess what the state did? They sent the police to her, and bow, just like that, took her FOID card, took her guns.
Yep. You lose everything.
You lose everything, and this is just a citizen. We're not even talking about the police. So if the police know what the police do to citizens, what makes a person think that the police is going to all of a sudden go get help simply because you say it's a part of the bill?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they need to get it. But what's the risk? What's the risk? There's a wonderful movie, End of Watch. It sucks that it's only about 1 hour and 30 minutes. But if you only saw, and not you, but I'm just saying if other people only saw the things that police see on a daily basis, especially these active police officers, the homicides and the baby, oh my God, stuff I can't even say on here. And then have to say it, see it, live it, go home to it with a straight face and stuff the issues that they still have on the inside that motivated them to get married, motivated them to take on the job. You see what I'm saying? All of this stuff. It's a powder keg. And then you got one trigger, one false complaint that threatens to take it all away. One allegation. One trying to get to a promotion and then wiped away because somebody else got it because they knew somebody and you meritoriously earned it, but that person had clout, or somebody, a rabbi of sorts. So much. So much. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
it's
obviously,
like a state trooper. Remember the state trooper who committed suicide on the side of the road?
I heard about it. That was what? Yeah.
About a few close to a year ago.
Yeah. Well, has it been a year? I thought there was another one on 55 not too long ago that they determined was suicide.
Yeah. State trooper?
Yeah.
And you very rarely hear state troopers committing suicide. So you know, and see, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. See, oh my God. What people don't understand is with this law that's coming up, you're going to lose a lot of your seasoned guys. Because trust me, there are plenty of places they can go. They just don't want to because it's comfortable here. But when they get fed, oh, they're gone. So now you're going to have these new boots who come from these troubled homes with traumas they don't even know about. Traumas they don't even know about, don't even have you just need one trigger. One woman you go on a domestic and she reminds you of your abusive mama. One man that reminds you of your abusive daddy. Or some situation you've been in. Now all of a sudden you use an excessive force on this person because you were triggered because of some unhealed issue you haven't healed from. You weren't trying to fuck that person up because of who they were. You were trying to fuck them up because of your past.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know the whole procedure of becoming a police officer, but I imagine it's not that hard to become a police officer if you go to training and they know nothing about your mental stability or how you were raised or where you came from, or
because people are good at hiding in happiness.
Yeah, everyone is. No one wants to show their hurt, unless some do. But I mean, people try to hide it, suck it up,
Or you were bullied in high school, and now you're the police, and now this is your chance to take. And don't get me wrong, not all cops who were bullied take it out on everybody, but all you need is that one person to remind you of Sarah Sklarowitz, who tripped you and took your peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
See, it ain't just the white cops on black folks. Some of you watching here or who will watch this need to go. You got to step outside of the proverbial black box that is our community. You need to go to some of these other communities. You need to see how you got white cops that fuck with white people. It is not, look, come on, man. Come on. Come on. It's not just stuff you see on TV. Not just stuff you see on TV.
Yeah.
And then you got citizens who will sit there and trigger, oh, you think you tough because you the police. And this guy wasn't even doing shit to you. So now he's got to prove a point. That happens in policing too. No different than another gang member calling you out and you got to prove your stuff on the streets. There's an ego thing amongst cops too. Come on, it goes both ways.
Yep.
It goes both ways. So I appreciate you, Kevin. Outstanding.
Everyone's got a lot to learn, I think.
And that's why conversations like this are important. I'm going to drop the link again. Anybody else want to come up? I know we've been going long and strong. I'll drop this link, one more person, and then we'll go on ahead and end it. Christy, I appreciate you. You said, oh, hell no, Mike, I love my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I appreciate it. Kevin, if you want to pop out, you're more than welcome to. It's up to you, man.
Got to get up early.
Oh, yeah. Go. Thank you. Yeah. I'll drop the link. Anybody else want to come up? Other than that, we're going to go on ahead and end it. Has this live been informative? Has this live been informative? Y'all let me know, please. I appreciate you all being here for as many that has been here. For as long as you all have been here, I appreciate it. Has this live been informative? I hope it has. And we don't always have to agree. We don't always have to agree. Chrissy, I appreciate you. You've been an outstanding moderator. Outstanding moderator. Thank you. We don't always have to agree. I just want to educate you all. I just want to educate you all. You said you wish I could come to Philadelphia and do a class out there. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's going to happen like real soon. I'm definitely starting to travel now. Definitely starting to travel now. Those of you all, that have not unpacked that hurt, let me extend myself to y'all. Take down my number. Take down my number. Take down my number. 773-644-5000. 773-644-5000. If you need somebody to talk to, call me. If you need somebody to talk to, call me. I don't have a problem extending myself like this because a lot of people are just one major trigger away from doing it. And the thing is, you've been told, don't cry. Yeah, you send me a cash app? Let me look at it right now. You've been told, don't cry. You've been told to shut up. You've been told you don't matter. You've been told a lot of different things. 773-644-5000. 773-644-5000. Yes, I did, Richard. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Shanice, thank you. Chris, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the donations. About to get these books out to these kids. 773-644-5000. If you need somebody to talk to, text me first to see if I'm available, and I'm calling you. I love to talk. I love to listen. You got to get that pressure off. Yep. What was your cash? You probably want to text me your Cash App name. You can text. You can text me. That's my number. It's right here, so I can see. Don't put your Cash App name out there, because the next thing you know, people start stuff. Right. 773-644-5000. There are a lot of you men who were not allowed to have a voice when you were younger. And quiet as kept, you're not allowed to have a voice now because of your situations. Same thing for you too, women. There was a woman who wanted to talk. There was a female who wanted to talk about the pressures of her having 2 children at such a young age. She called that hotline and they took her shit. They took her stuff. And she ain't suicidal. She ain't none of those things. See, the government will talk you into calling them. And then as soon as you call them, you're taking your shit. Now, don't get me wrong. If you in Chicago and you call me and I feel like you're about to do it, I'm coming to take your shit too. But at least I'm not going to keep it from you for a long ass time. You're going to have to go see some people. You're going to have to take some assessments to make sure you're good to go. But at least I'm not the government. I'm just somebody who cares. We all need somebody to talk to. And I ain't going to tell you what you always want to hear. But I'm going to try to tell you some shit you need to know. You ain't been able to cry. You ain't been able to talk to nobody. You've been told not to cry. You got a lot of pressure going on in the inside of you right now. And it's hard for you to release it. You got a friend over here. You said, I took your class during the pandemic. I love your Maslow hierarchy connection. Outstanding. Outstanding. You said, where's the link I want to get in? I'm going to drop it again, Joe. It's at the top of the comments. At the top of the comments. I vehemently believe that the whole mental health hotline systems are designed to gaslight people into further despair, much like the VA does sometimes. Just my tinfoil hat talking, though. Yeah. You not wrong. You not wrong at all. You are not wrong at all. You are not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all. Joe, I dropped the link. I appreciate you all. You're not alone. And it's hard too. Look at Dale preaching on a Monday. You damn right. That's right. We got to. We got to, man. We got to. Got to. Got to. Got to. Yeah, the link is at the top, Joe. I hope you come on because I'm getting 2 things, tired and thirsty. You're going to get something to drink earlier. I appreciate you all. Make sure you get into somebody's class. Man, I'm telling you, Red Cell. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right, y'all. Lastly, Cash App is coming across the way. Cash App, PayPal. Hit the link in the description. If you appreciate this. Yeah. Thank you, Damien. Yeah, I'm gonna put out the number again: 773-644-5000. Hey, Miss Freeman, did you get hooked up with Henny? Shouts out to Miss Freeman and Henny and Honey Pack. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm going to get something to drink right now. Not that kind of summer drink. Just, yeah, because I'm thirsty. Joe, I'm going to be back up Wednesday, 2 days from now. You all come back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Trigger with Instructor Mike and friends. Hopefully the guys, we will go back over this again. We will go back over this again Wednesday. I appreciate you, Tay. I did. I see it. I see it. I appreciate you all. Okay. We will talk about this subject again on Wednesday. You said I missed all the spicy comments. No, I didn't, because I'm going to go back through them when this live is over with. Let me see. Thank you, product of Cook County 7963. I appreciate you. My brother wants to, let me hit the comments. I don't want to leave out without hitting the comments. Sometimes I do that. My brother wants to be a Leo, law enforcement officer at CPD, and I really want him to talk to you. I don't think he fully grasps what that means, especially with so much going on. 773-644-5000. He got my number. You got my number. Let's make it happen. Here we go. This was all brought in by the full moon on the 10th. Yeah. Yeah, man. For someone to self-zero sum their self. They can be seen as an act of liberty. Everyone is born against their will, and at the end of line, and the end of the line is guaranteed. They're just controlling when it happens. Okay, I'll give you that perspective. And I like what you said. Self-zero sum. Good. Yep, that's it. You know, we got to be careful on YouTube. Thank you, Damon. I appreciate you. Thank you, Byron. It's all good. Katrina, as always, appreciate you. Tay Harper. Thank you for that. Joe, you still hadn't come in. Joe, you got to get a different phone. You got Boost Mobile, so you're not gonna be able to get in because of the way your Wi-Fi is set up. Shanice, I'm about to go back to these comments when I'm done. I appreciate you, Miss Freeman. Hit me up. I'll make sure that I get you that. No problem. No problem. All right, you all be careful. Come back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Trigger with Instructor Mike. We're going to talk about this again. And if you all want to come up and talk, let's do that. I love having you all on the panel. You said the purge ain't no joke. Look, y'all thought it was going to be like the riots. It might be. Who knows? Shit. Who knows? All right, you all take care. Be safe. Good. Hit them dastardly. I was trying to hit something else, but I saw your comment. Y'all take care. Be safe. What's going on, you? This is Instructor Mike. You can follow me on Facebook at Mike Brown or Instructor Mike. You can follow me on
It could be you as a citizen, and you walked up and you see somebody.
Look heavy.